Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Cricket Cult. I have with me my dear friend Siddharth Luthra. It's been a while that we've been on this platform. We were last doing this during the recently suspended IPL, and we've got something very interesting to discuss today, and that's the reason that we are actually recording this. It's a question which has been plaguing Indian cricket in not just one format but multiple formats. I'd say. I mean, if you're an avid cricket follower, you'd probably already guess the question. But let me break it to you. So we're actually looking to bottle down on who should open the batting with Rohit Sharma in the T20 World Cup, which is going to be held in UAE. We're worried about who's going to open in England, given that Shubman Gill is injured. But this one's going to focus on the T20 World Cup because that's the flavor of this year, so to say. We've kind of narrowed down on a few options to actually go with Rohit Sharma, and I'm just going to quickly run you through those options, and then we're going to have a discussion about which one actually we feel is going to be better and why. So there's Shikhar Dhawan, the old Rohit Shikhar combination. We've got KL Rahul, who's been doing prolifically well in patches, but yes, he's been doing well. So we have KL Rahul. We've got Virat Kohli, who recently, a couple of years, not a couple, maybe a year and a half back, said that he and Rohit Sharma are the best bet to open in T20s. So that's the first three candidates. We've also got a couple of rookie entries here in the form of Devdutt Padikkal. He's been superb. I mean, just coming of age in this IPL and the one before this as well. So we've got him in there as well. Then we've also got Prithvi Shaw, who's done brilliantly for the Delhi Daredevils this IPL. And a kind of, backdoor entry would be someone like Ishan Kishan, who has also impressed in the one opportunity he got for the Indian team. So these are, the broad options which we've kind of narrowed down in. Luthra, anyone else you feel that can, make this cut to even be discussed?
Uh, I feel like uh, I think six is more than enough for one position.
No, I mean you've always got more insight on this than me, so I thought I'll run it through you. So who's your
No,
pick?
I think maybe Rituraj Gaikwad also backdoor entry, but I'm not very sure. Um, Depends. But yeah, I think broadly you've underlined all the options.
So you want to go first? Who do you think is your pick?
Actually, yeah, no. So basically, not 1.5 years ago, just before this IPL during the England series, Virat said that him and Rohit would be probably the best and the most experienced combo to open. So like they are the favorites, so to speak. However, if you ask me, the way Shikhar batted and depending on how he goes in the remaining part of the IPL, don't forget that the remaining part of the IPL is also going to be really important in who gets the nod. I mean, the squad, Virat will have the squad in his mind, but like who gets the nod, the final two, that depends on you know how the IPL goes. But I feel like Ishan Kishan, I'm not very keen on, even though he did well. Then Rituraj Gaikwad and Devdutt Padikkal, they've just got three India matches. So it's basically between KL Rahul, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, one of these three.
I mean, big tournament, big matches. I'm totally with you on that one. That it has to be one of these three. If I was to actually go a little deeper into the insight of the rest of the composition of the batting lineup, the first thing that will come to my mind is that Surya Kumar Yadav has to be accommodated in that side, and I feel that he is your perfect sort of foil or fit for number four. Although he's been batting at number three for Mumbai Indians, I think he's that perfect bridge between, say, a Virat Kohli at number three and a Rishabh Pant at number five. So having Surya Kumar Yadav coming in at four, Virat Kohli at three, actually gives you that option of opening with either Dhawan and Rahul. And my personal opinion would be that I would go with Dhawan for the simple reason that, of course, for starters, it will be a left hand, right hand combination, which will always, benefit. Secondly, the thing with UAE pitches, it's going to be the ball is going to be coming onto the bat. It's really going to suit Shikhar Dhawan's style of batting. He likes to drive on the front foot. He's got a good, square cut. And these are shots which are really going to be very effective on UAE wickets in the first 6 overs. So with Dhawan, I also personally feel that he's been more consistent and he's got a little more of a compact technique when trying to bridge that gap between attack and defense in the T20 format. KL Rahul has been very hot and cold. When he's hot, he's really hot, but when he's cold, he's really been out of form. So I would just hinge my money and my bets on Dhawan being the front runner at this moment, and maybe you can have KL Rahul slotting in as your backup opener come wicket keeper.
Bro, what I personally feel is to accommodate, if you have to, and I am with you there, Surya Kumar Yadav, you will have to have Kohli as the opener with Rohit Sharma. No way can I see Kohli below number 3, because the only reason he came to open was to accommodate Surya Kumar Yadav, and if it meant
I said Kohli bats at number 3 and Surya Kumar Yadav bats at number 4. That's what I said. Because between
no. What I'm saying is, if Surya Kumar Yadav has to play, then Kohli will have to open. That is what my gut says, and that is why he took that big decision of dropping KL Rahul and coming up to open. That is what I feel. Like reading Kohli's between the lines.
No, I get what. See, Surya Kumar Yadav, if you had an option between 1 to 11, you'd give him number 3 because that's what he's done successfully all these couple of years, 3 years in Mumbai Indians. But on the flip side of it, just analyzing, I mean, see, Indian team is a different scenario altogether. You have competition for places like no other team, and Surya Kumar Yadav's style of play, I feel, is suited to even the number 4 position, because he's not going to find it too hard to find the gaps even when the field is spread out, and he's got those shots which also tend to bisect the gaps really well. So I kind of feel he's that perfect foil, because he's so technically also sound when he has to be, between someone like a Kohli and a Pant, who's going to ideally, I feel, do the number 5 job. I feel to like your best batting lineup in the middle would be Kohli, Yadav and Pant. However you accommodate them is a different story, but these 3 have to be your 3, 4, 5. And
exactly. So these 3 will be accommodated, but I'm not very sure 3, 4, 5, because Kohli has been very vocal about having one left-hander in the top 4, right? And that is why Shreyas Iyer was pushed to number 5, and Rishabh Pant was straight away parachuted into the number 4 position. In T20 cricket, especially when you're playing in UAE, you'll have lots of spinners, and I do get the logic of why you probably want a left-hander in the top 4. So if Shikhar doesn't play, right, there is no you're talking about Rohit opening with Rahul, because Rahul is the incumbent after, because Kohli opened before that, it was Rahul. He didn't do particularly badly, so I feel like he'll get the nod over Shikhar in the current hierarchy. At least you never know with Captain Kohli, whatever what surprise he comes up with. But I feel like with Rishabh at 4, I don't think Shreyas has done anything wrong to be out of the playing 11. In fact, he was brilliant in the England series at number 5. And then Hardik and Jaddu to follow. Surya to play, he has to play at number 3.
It's actually a tough one. It'll depend a lot on the conditions, because it'll also depend a lot on the composition the Indian team wants to go in with. So number 6, number 5, I personally see India playing maybe 2 all-rounders at 6 and 7.
Yeah, Pandya and Jadeja.
So if Surya Kumar Yadav slots in, he slots in at, if he say what I'm going with, slots in at 4, you have Rishabh Pant at 5. I feel Shreyas Iyer may not get a game to start with. It does depend on the Sri Lanka series and how these guys do there, but Shreyas Iyer is not in that series.
Shreyas isn't there in Sri Lanka,
he's coming back from an injury layoff,
but
so that also would account for something.
No, but there will be the that is why I started the program saying that the IPL will really be important. He'll definitely be in the squad, right? As a reserve batsman, even if he doesn't get a nod in the playing 11. And if that happens, then it will depend on what he does in the IPL. I'm thinking he'll be fit by then. But I just can't see how you can drop Shreyas Iyer with whatever he's
I think it's
done till now. I just don't see the logic.
for another day, but when Shreyas Iyer is fit, I want to see who Delhi Daredevils gives the captaincy. Delhi Capitals gives the captaincy to. So that's going to be quite.
All I'll say is that Rishabh Pant is the JSW brand ambassador.
No, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to note. And, that's also going to kind of give an indication about who's going to be the future of the future captain of Indian cricket in the next 10 years, 8, 10 years.
That is a very important this thing. So now what they're saying is, oh, actually we missed out on one guy who probably has a better chance than Rituraj, Ishan Kishan, and Devdutt Padikkal, and that is you said like he did really well for Delhi Capitals, which is Prithvi Shaw. So what if you want explosion at the top, then probably Shreyas could miss out, and because you know what happens is that with Kohli, Rohit, and Dhawan, or you can even include Rahul in that list, they all sort of take their time. So you need explosion at the top.
With Prithvi Shaw, it's a no-go in my opinion, for the simple reason that Virat Kohli's been very vocal about the fact that he is not satisfied with Prithvi Shaw's level of fitness as well as concentration level at the moment. If
that were true,
I know
then they wouldn't be keen on flying him to England.
That's true, but but given the current scenario, the best test matches, the best option we have apart from Mayank Agarwal, who is going to be the first choice opener in place of Gill, is Prithvi Shaw. But with T20s, fitness has.
But you already took KL Rahul. So I don't know what is the reason for it.
KL Rahul has been earmarked to be more of a middle order batsman in Test cricket rather than an opener, because he's already been kind of auditioned for the opener's role and failed way too many times than what he succeeded. So I feel like Rohit Sharma now is considered as an opener. I think
I agree.
In the Test format is considered as a middle order batsman all through. So I don't see him being
It will. So this connects very well with who will be India's next captain. I mean, after the Kohli Rohit era, because if KL can get a spot in all three formats, then I feel he's a definite front runner. If he can't, and right now he's not even in the T20 11, like at least the last T20 India played, or the Test 11, I just can't see any other player apart from Rishabh who plays all three formats.
KL Rahul is going to be another three. I don't see captaincy being anywhere else apart from either Kohli or Rohit Sharma in the next 3 years, for the next 3 years at least. And if that's the case, Rahul will kind of be that in-between generation who's crossed over to the line where giving him captaincy at that point really doesn't make sense. So it'll actually be interesting to note. I'm with you that at this moment, Rishabh Pant would be the front runner, but you never know with Indian cricket. I mean, you have superstars emerging every year, and maybe someone who's already in the team and doing a good job can suddenly in the next 1.5 years see himself established as a all-format cricketer. And you never know. Indian cricket's a funny game, and none of us can predict it. But definitely, chances are high that it will be the Pant era in the years to come. So
my only point is that it has to be someone who's playing all three formats regularly. So I currently, with a year, I can't see that happening, at least in the near future, playing Test cricket. It'll be interesting how KL Rahul goes if he's given a chance in the middle order. So another reason for flying Prithvi Shaw could be that the talks have been doing the rounds that Cheteshwar Pujara will be dropped and KL Rahul probably would be preferred at one down, and Mayank will slot in as the opener. So in case one wet morning, if one opener twists his ankle, then that's where they need Prithvi Shaw as the reserve opener. But it's quite interesting. I actually think that Prithvi Shaw will give you that. So my only bone of contention is that if there's a slight criticism, Rohit, as I said earlier, Rohit, Shikhar, Virat, and KL Rahul, they are all similar type of players. I mean, first 20 balls, 90 out of 100 times you'll see 20, 21 runs. That is where teams like England, or you could even say West Indies, they take the game away from you. using those power plays. So that is why I'm not very keen on having 3 out of those 4, 2 out of those 4, and they'll definitely be Virat and Rohit. So my 11, and after this you could tell your probable 11. My 11, and this is not what I feel Kohli would do, but this is what probably I would do. Rohit and Kohli, 1 down, I'd go with Sky. 2 down, Rishabh Pant for that lefty and a little bit of explosion in the middle order. 3 down, Shreyas Iyer. 4 down, Hardik. 5, Jadeja. 6 down, I'll go with Bhuvi. 7, it's a toss-up between Rahul Chahar and Varun Chakravarti. I'll prefer Varun Chakravarti. I mean, not in the batting order, but and then 2 pacers to finish off with Shami and Bumrah, or Shami or Chahar, either.
No, my side would be similar. I wouldn't go through it totally, but the only change would be that I would actually have Dhawan in that 11, and maybe I feel that the Shreyas would maybe miss out in my team. But then again, it's all a question of composition. There are a couple of people here, who I would throw up. Will determine that composition of the side will actually be players like Washington Sundar. Will actually, if they get a look in, then India will probably go in with 1 bowler light and play Washington Sundar as they'll have all rounders at number 6, 7, and 8, so to say. So.
But in that case, you won't have either a wrist spinner or a mystery spinner in the team.
That totally depends on the opposition
and Jadeja. I'm not very confident.
It totally depends on the conditions. It totally depends on the opposition, the number of right-handers.
So since the T20 World Cup is in a similar place and at a similar time of the year as the previous IPL, you did see that Abu Dhabi, at least Abu Dhabi does support fast bowlers more than spinners, and Sharjah is too small for spinners. You know what I mean? It's too small for spinners, at least finger spinners. So he's Varun Chakravarti. I'm very excited about. I would definitely have him pen down in my 11.
Pass the fitness test just before the World Cup. That's important.
But he's selected for this tour, right?
I know.
So if he does well, I don't see how they can drop him.
So we 3 matches in Sri Lanka, so it'll be an interesting bet. Also, a lot hinges on how effectively and how many overs Hardik Pandya can actually get in. Because if he's playing as your all-rounder, he needs to give you that quota of 4 overs. So that till now has been
okay. So let's discuss. In case Hardik is not fit enough to bowl, then what? Then you can't have the luxury of just of 6 bowlers. So if in case you need Washington, then right, and in that case probably Washington or an Akshar. But if Jadeja is there, then not Akshar. Washington walks in, right? Then that means Hardik will probably bat at 3 down, because you just can't go with 5 bowling options. So what would be your top 5 then?
No, so the top 5 would not change, na? Because you would have I would have Hardik Pandya at 6. I would have my top 5 doesn't change. Yours would probably have to, because you've accounted for Shreyas.
No, but if Hardik can't bowl, then you're just going with 5 bowlers, 4 bowlers and an all-rounder. In a T20 game, what if a Bumrah pulls his hamstring in the second over? Then in a semi-final, I don't think that's going to happen.
When you lack,
because no one will go in a T20 game these days with just 5 bowling options.
No, I've seen a lot of teams do that. I've seen someone like the Sunrisers Hyderabad do that a lot. The 2 options who they have are totally part-timers apart from their top 5 bowlers. So it's something you can't really.
But India doesn't even have that. India doesn't even have that. That's probably an Achilles heel, that your batsman, like you remember that era where Ganguly could roll his arm over, Sachin could roll his arm over, Sehwag could roll his arm over, Yuvraj could roll his arm over. You don't have that after his shoulder surgery. Rohit can't bowl.
I think
Virat doesn't bowl anymore.
I think what's happened is you're missing out something more important here, that back then you didn't have those number of all-rounders, because of which these guys actually you would come in and bowl. Today in Indian cricket, you actually have a Rohit Sharma, you actually have a Virat Kohli. They are decent with the ball. Rohit Sharma has got an IPL hat trick. So it's
No, but that was before his shoulder surgery.
yeah.
He hasn't bowled after that.
Even after Sachin recovered from his tennis elbow, he was bowling for you even in the 2011 World Cup. If you remember, he bowled in a couple of
But
games.
he doesn't. No, what I'm trying to say is that in the last 2, 3, 4 years, you haven't seen him either in the IPL or in any format. You haven't seen him bowl.
You
The
can't.
only option is Virat Kohli, and we all know what Alfie Mokel did. So, and anyways, it's not just about injury. What if a Jadeja has a bad day? What if Shami has a bad day? You just don't have anyone to rely back on. Personally, I can't see India going with 5 bowling options. So if in case India wants to go with 6 bowling options and Hardik can't bowl, is he still a sure shot in the team for you?
As a finisher's role, I would say yes, because it depends on his current form as well. But personally, it would totally depend on what he's able to offer the team at that particular point of time, because it depends on his form, batting form, and what he brings to the table at that moment if he can't bowl.
Because I'm saying the only reason I say that is because the only way then he can be in the team is if he bats at 5, which leaves you with four other options, out of which I'm guessing that Virat, Pant, and Rohit are certainties. So you only have one slot left between Surya Kumar Yadav, KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, Samson, whoever, Shikhar Dhawan. You just have one slot. So that will be really interesting. Because I do agree with you that even as a finisher, he walks into the T20 team, even if he can't bowl.
Right. So anyway, it's interesting. This conversation started with the opening team. Who's going to open? But the opening slot actually depends on a lot of other factors. So it's something, which is not a very direct thing to answer. So let's give it some time and we'll know probably at the end of the Sri Lanka series. If we have this conversation, we'll have a much better idea. And maybe after the IPL, we'll know for sure. So
currently for you, it's Shikhar opening with Rohit, and for me, it's Virat opening with Rohit.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. Okay, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and please, if you like this such content, please follow Cricket Cult YouTube channel and Instagram page. Thank you, Arav. Thank you.
Thanks for that.